So for some reason we discovered this one of our deer motor still works, so it's getting power, but all the lights aren't turning on. Now I've noticed the power comes straight up into it here and then loops out to start the lights, so I don't know whether something's happened in this sealed section or whether it's actually inside right here at the connector. So I'm going to go have a look. Not sure what these are, but I know these two crawled over earlier today and now they've turned into a hard casing, so I think they're like waiting to develop. Got like a moth or they are bizarre looking things. Those ones look like they're trying to crawl out to do the same thing off the side. Just opened my shed to find this little fella sitting in the middle. He wasn't here before. Where are you hanging around? Huh? I don't want to tread on you. It's all right. Never heard that squeal sound. Well, I've had no luck with this buck. Motor works fine. I ended up cutting out what I think might have been like a capacitor or something like that to sort of let them turn on slowly, but I was getting electrical readings everywhere except when I connected these two, which is both ends of the circuit, which means that there's a break somewhere in amongst all of these lights. Like I said, motor still works. Power comes in, goes to the motor. There was no issue with the connections in there. No real issue here, no real issue here, but probably is now that I've cut it out. But we're going to see if we can just get some exterior string lights and redo this somehow. It's a pain. The rest of the day, you can see I mowed the backyard and that section over there. Also did remowed the front yard right up to the street when the grass was really long, and so when I was about halfway down the yard, maybe about halfway down the yard, the mower stopped and it didn't get stuck on anything, and when I checked the batteries were down to like one cell on each battery. Put them back on the charge, got out the weed whacker and did all of the edging, front yard right up the street, all the way down the side, all the way down around all the rocks that we've got down there, coming back up the side, basically everywhere where the mower couldn't get. By the time I'd finished that, batteries were recharged, chucked them in the mower, finished the back of the yard. It grew really quick with the heat and the rain that we've had. This yard is one that's the size that if you don't get it all done in one day, you're stuffed. Edging and everything. Not the last Friday, but the one before was when I mowed the front yard and then mowed that top section of the backyard and then stopped because the batteries had died, and I thought I'll try and get it done on the weekend. Too hot Saturday, like way too hot. Sunday, other things to do. This weekend, yesterday was quite hot and muggy. Today, got lights, the solar lights up on the 5 panels that I've done on the fence on that side. Put an extra one on this side because I needed 9, I had 8. Did the exploratory work on the buck to no avail. Got stuck into doing that yard, and between a week and a bit ago and today, The front yard had exploded again. Up on the street had grown long again. The top section down here had grown again. And I was just like, you've got to do it all in one day, and it takes most of the day. Tomorrow is the last day of school completely for me. Tuesday is still there for people who didn't do the afternoon training sessions. Like there was 3 sessions. By doing those, I don't have to go in on Tuesday. There's quite a number of staff who are going to be there on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. I've still got to do stuff down at the school. I've been up in the deputy's chair so much that I just haven't been able to do anything up in my faculty. Like this last week, I don't even really remember being up in the faculty except for the lunchtime we had, which was Merry Christmas and farewell to the 2 staff who were going on leave for a year. That was Thursday, and that was the day I was DP. I know I did enrolment interviews on Monday or Tuesday when I wasn't DP, but I was up there doing interviews. I just don't know what really, sometimes that happens, you just don't know what's going on. Like I had year 11 a couple of times in the last week and I didn't get to have them. Still got a bit of work to do on the timetable, and that will be my focus tomorrow after our morning session, which is a whole school session. The other DP told me to just lock myself away and try and get that timetable finished, because I've got to do year 10 and year 12 and get them, year 10 imported, year 12 checked before re-importing, and then rooming. That's going to be the tough bit. If the timetable's been this tight, just on staffing, rooming could be a big one. Yes, this Christmas is looking like Christmas in the Northern Hemisphere. Dark and grey, and yeah, welcome to summer. Last day of school officially. I believe this is my last day. I might get a shop today. That said, if there's stuff I feel I still need to do down there at the end of today, it might be easier for me to do it as though here's a work day than to think about going down on another day in the holidays. No students today, only staff. Our Christmas lunch, our farewells, and that works a little bit better rather than having your Christmas lunch when everybody's got to run out and do supervision of the students and that sort of thing. It means that the last day can really be the kids can be a last day with the kids. They don't turn up and then find out they've only got 2 things in the morning, and then it's minimal supervision through the rest of the day. Friday was a pretty good day. Dark Santa this year, go very metal with Christmas. I think I'm going to try and get myself locked away to work on the timetable middle session so that I can spend time with my guys in the last session rather than doing that and then running out of time in the afternoon. I don't particularly want to stay back late. No rain today, but an overcast start to the day again. Yesterday turned out hot, just as I believe today probably will. I am going down into work for a couple of reasons. One, with all that stuff that was being done on the deck, I'd bought a lot of tools out. They just all got returned to the staff room. They're from 2 or 3 different workshops. I want to put all those things back because I don't want to come in day one when we have professional development days and have to do that then. I'd like to try and tidy up the workshops a bit if I can, because each time I walked into them it was kind of felt like too much. Stuff was everywhere. I didn't go in the last couple of days because I was the deputy. I don't know whether any sort of tidy up happened or anything like that, but we'll see. At the very least, any tools that are on benches and that sort of stuff, I want to hang them back up and just give the room some sense of normality, organisation. The other reason I'm going in is because I still need to finish rooming the timetable. I'd say I got about 1/3 of the way into it yesterday. I should get that completed today. It wasn't something that I wanted to leave and try and do it at home. Even though it's just on a laptop, I could do it. I could still log in remotely, I guess, to try and copy the files onto the server and that sort of thing. But in all seriousness, too many distractions at home. There's other things that you need to do. Don't want to be spending time on the timetable. And my wife said, like, why not? You've done that in the past. Don't want to now. The timetable got delayed so much for a number of reasons. Just don't want to think about it. I also want to try and talk to the boss about teaching position that I still have vacant. Yes, I've got the teacher who has sat in the role for a whole year. He reminded us yesterday. This was after being told at the start of this year, should only be for about 2 to 3 weeks until we get the ad answered. I know that he wasn't particularly happy about that and was a little surly throughout term 1, but he really did do a fantastic job. Work that he has put into with his senior class on folio work, because he's got a lot of that teaching reading and writing background. The quality of their work has really climbed. He did agree to stick in the job next year, but I still do have 2 staff taking leave for a year. I still don't have a teacher. I've made a timetable for somebody who doesn't exist. So I need to go and talk to the boss about our options. No, I can't stay late. Like yesterday, couldn't stay late because the cleaners do what they call as a straight through run shift, where they left at 1:30, so we all had to be out of the school by 3:30 because the GA and the boss wanted to leave and they have to lock up, turn on the alarms. And that will be the same case today. Finish up, get out. A number of the staff from my staff room will be there today as well, because they didn't do part of the professional development, so they had to do the last day. And one of them is one of those who is leaving. Good to have another final farewell with them. Traffic was heavy yesterday, but it wasn't like this. Traffic just started slowing down back there on the freeway. I opened Google Maps to see how long this was meant to be, and all the red seemed to just stop not far past the overpass of the Northern Road. There was a little bit of slowdown on the opposite side at around the same space, so I went, there's a crash that's happened on this side, and everybody on that side's been slowing down to have a look. At first I was thinking I'm going to move over and get off on the Northern Road and head down the back way, and then when I saw that it opens up not past the Northern Road, I went, I'll sit in it. It's alright. It's not like I have to be there today. I've just gotten to a sign here that says crash ahead. Reduce speed. Can't reduce much lower than 0, can you? Now the school year is over. Spent pretty much the day just on the timetable. But in the end, timetable's done. Everything roomed, every class has a teacher, every class has a room. I've sent a PDF copy out to staff. I've put the timetable onto the server. I've synchronized it with our other online platforms that we use. I set up the calendar for next year
so that it would synchronise through. I had a feeling some of the rooming might be wrong. I already had one teacher email me back and let me know that I'd put them in the wrong room. There was a faculty that had lost a number of staff, and I knew that they were going to juggle who was in what room, but I really didn't know who was going in what room, so I took a guess, and I tried to put them all up near their staff room, and the teacher who emailed me basically wanted to be in the room that they were in this year, which was elsewhere in the block, because they'd gotten it set up, gotten their laptops in it and everything like that. And so I guess once you have a room like that, you want to try and keep it yours. I did get to put all the construction tools back because they were in a big toolbox, so I just sorted them out, carried them all over as I was leaving, because I was parked out the back near the construction room. Stuff to go into the workshops, not so much, but the workshops also didn't look as bad as I remembered, so there'd obviously been a bit of cleanup done in the last week. I had thoughts in my mind that I was going to go down into the senior timber classroom and try and tidy that up and set it up a bit, but that didn't happen. And one reason for that is in the last week we'd gotten a thicknesser, big heavy duty one, and so wanted to get that set up properly, but now hopefully can just focus on some stuff at home. I did notice I got a couple of emails about a course I've enrolled in for next year. We managed to get a teacher on a temp contract for our staff room to fill in the spots for the people who are going on leave. That's good news, because I've been sitting there with a timetable against a staff member who was no longer going to be with us next year. I was like, who is that?